Welcome to our deep dive into the pressing issue of poverty in the Philippines. Now, I know what you're thinking. The Philippines? Paradise. Those words seem kind of incompatible. And you know what? You'd be right. Because behind those stunning beaches and idyllic islands lies a stark reality for millions of Filipinos. Today, we're going to peel back the layers of this complex issue, shining a light on the struggles faced by so many. We'll explore the root causes of poverty in the Philippines, from systemic issues like corruption and lack of opportunities to the heartbreaking consequences like malnutrition and limited access to education. Because, let's be clear, this isn't about pointing fingers. It's about understanding the problem so we can work towards a solution. Welcome to our deep dive into the pressing issue of poverty in the Philippines. Today we'll explore its causes, effects, and the efforts being made to combat it. Let's be honest, talking about poverty is about as fun as a root canal on your birthday. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, and frankly, no one really wants to do it. But just like that pesky root canal, ignoring it won't make it go away. In fact, it'll only make things worse. So where do we even begin? Well, imagine a family in rural Philippines. They rely on farming, but unpredictable weather and limited access to resources make it a constant struggle to put food on the table. Their children walk miles to the nearest school, which may lack basic supplies and qualified teachers. This, my friends, is the reality for millions trapped in a cycle of poverty. It's a vicious cycle where lack of education leads to limited job opportunities, trapping families in low-paying jobs that barely cover basic needs. And if that wasn't enough, we have to address the elephant in the room: corruption. When those in power prioritize their own pockets over the needs of the people, it siphons away resources that could be used for education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Add to that a heaping dose of social injustice, where inequality is rampant and opportunities are often determined by your last name rather than your potential, and you've got yourself a recipe for a poverty crisis. Now, we could throw around statistics all day, but numbers can only tell you so much. The true face of poverty is found in the faces of those who live it every day. We're talking about children with distended bellies, a heartbreaking sign of malnutrition. Families crammed into makeshift shelters, vulnerable to the elements and lacking basic sanitation. The effects of poverty are like a ripple effect, touching every aspect of a person's life. Limited access to healthcare means treatable illnesses become life-threatening. Lack of education perpetuates the cycle, robbing children of the opportunity to break free. And let's not forget the toll it takes on mental health. The constant stress of survival, the hopelessness that can set in when you feel invisible to society. These are wounds that run deep. It's a brutal reality, and one that we cannot afford to ignore. Okay, it's time to talk numbers. And trust me, these numbers are about as fun as a mosquito bite on your eyeball. But just like that pesky mosquito, we can't ignore them. The Philippines, a country of breathtaking beauty and resilience, is also a country grappling with a sobering reality. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, as of 2021, millions of Filipinos are living below the poverty line. That's right, millions. And while poverty exists across the country, it's not evenly distributed. Some regions, particularly in rural areas, bear a disproportionate burden. We're talking about families struggling to survive on less than a few dollars a day. And while poverty doesn't discriminate, it does have its favorites. Vulnerable groups like children, women, indigenous communities, and persons with disabilities often face even greater challenges. These numbers aren't just statistics, they represent real people, real lives impacted by this crisis. Now, before you go full-on Eeyore and declare the situation hopeless, let's talk about what's being done. The Philippine government, to their credit, has implemented programs aimed at tackling poverty. One such program is the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, or 4PS as it's commonly known. This conditional cash transfer program provides financial assistance to impoverished families, with a focus on keeping children in school and ensuring regular health checkups. Then there's the National Anti-Poverty Commission, or NAPC, tasked with coordinating poverty reduction efforts across different government agencies. They develop policies, implement programs, and monitor progress. But let's be honest, government programs can sometimes feel like a band-aid on a bullet wound. They address immediate needs, but often fall short of addressing the root causes. And that's where sustainable solutions come in. Imagine a Philippines where poverty isn't a life sentence, but a chapter that can be rewritten. That's the promise of sustainable solutions. One such solution is microfinance. By providing small loans and financial literacy training to low-income individuals, microfinance empowers them to start their own businesses and lift themselves out of poverty. Then there's agricultural development. The Philippines is a country rich in natural resources, yet many farmers struggle to make ends meet. By investing in modern farming techniques, providing access to markets, and promoting sustainable practices, we can unlock the potential of the agricultural sector and create lasting prosperity. But it doesn't stop there. Education and skills training are crucial. By equipping individuals with the knowledge and skills they need to thrive in the 21st century workforce, we empower them to break free from the cycle of poverty. And let's not forget the power of community-based development. When communities come together to identify their own needs and develop solutions, they create a sense of ownership and empower themselves to create lasting change. Now, while poverty affects everyone it touches, it's not an equal opportunity offender. Certain groups often bear a heavier burden, facing unique challenges that exacerbate their vulnerability. Take children, for example. Poverty robs them of their childhood, forcing them into labor, depriving them of education and exposing them to unimaginable hardships. Women too face an uphill battle. Gender inequality, limited access to education and economic opportunities, and the burden of unpaid care work trap many women in a cycle of poverty. Indigenous communities, often marginalized and discriminated against, struggle to maintain their cultural identity while facing systemic barriers to education, healthcare, and economic opportunities. And persons with disabilities, often overlooked and underserved, encounter physical and social barriers that limit their participation in society and make it harder to escape poverty. Addressing these inequalities is not just a matter of fairness, it's essential for achieving inclusive and sustainable development. Now, tackling a problem as complex as poverty requires a united front. And that's where international organizations come in, offering a helping hand to support the Philippines in its fight against poverty. The United Nations Development Programme, or UNDP, has been a long-standing partner, working with the government and civil society organizations to promote sustainable development, reduce inequalities, and empower marginalized communities. The World Bank, another key player, provides financial and technical assistance for poverty reduction programs, focusing on areas like education, healthcare, and social protection. But it's not just about big international organizations. Non-governmental organizations, or NGOs, play a vital role on the ground, working directly with communities to address their specific needs. From providing healthcare and education to promoting sustainable livelihoods and advocating for policy changes, NGOs are on the front lines of the fight against poverty. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is all very depressing, Kuya Jun. Is there any hope? And the answer, my friends, is a resounding yes. Across the Philippines, amidst the challenges, stories of resilience, innovation and hope are emerging. Take, for instance, the Gawad Kalinga Community Development Foundation. This organization has built thousands of homes for homeless families, creating vibrant communities that empower residents to break free from the cycle of poverty. Then there's the Philippine Development Foundation, or PhilDev, which focuses on science, technology and innovation to drive inclusive growth. They've launched initiatives to support agriculture, education and entrepreneurship, creating opportunities for Filipinos to thrive. These success stories demonstrate that change is possible. By replicating these best practices, scaling up successful models, and fostering collaboration between government, civil society and the private sector, we can create a brighter future for all Filipinos. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of poverty in the Philippines. We've delved into the harsh realities, the systemic issues, and the heartbreaking consequences. But we've also witnessed the resilience of the human spirit, the power of innovation, and the unwavering commitment of those working tirelessly to create a brighter future. Remember those children with the weight of poverty on their shoulders? They deserve a chance to dream, to hope, to reach their full potential. And it's up to all of us to make that dream a reality. Together, we can break the chains of poverty and build a Philippines where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of poverty in the Philippines. Together we can work towards a future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.